to you today. And listen, man, the photographs are just getting more intense all the time, and plus I have some special announcements to make, so let's get started right away. First thing I want to show you guys today is new footage from these weather cams, this being in New Jersey. And now we're starting to see this phenomenon closer to the northern hemisphere. And I want to point out a couple things to you. First of all, you're going to see this flare. And this is a reflection bouncing off the housing of this camera, in my opinion. And the actual object is back in this area. So check it out. There it is right there. See it? And then that's what it looks like if we could see it. So this is like a reflection of it. That's what I think is heading towards the Earth right now. So that's that. That's my theory on that. That's pretty incredible stuff right there. And then the second thing I want to do is go into this Jupiter exploding thing. Let's start out with this little shot that one of the subscribers took for us. And basically what we're seeing here is an image where Jupiter, supposedly, which was the planet that we had been observing according to all the astronomers over here, now he's just backing it up and now he's going over here. So that's Jupiter disappearing, and then all of a sudden we get this like explosion, like so either Jupiter was hit by something, I guess, or what. So this is the shot from a couple days ago, and everybody was saying this is Jupiter, and that's the body that went off the frame, and we were noticing this other which we think was perhaps the winged planet. I don't know. We're still studying it, but this was supposed to be Jupiter for sure, right? And then we cut over, and this is just kind of a cutout. 1, kaboom. 2, kaboom. 3, kaboom. 4, kaboom. So we're getting like over the course of a day, 320, we are getting, or a couple hours, we're getting a huge, what appears to be a semi burst off of Jupiter. Please comment on this. I am open to your critique and to your suggestions because that is just weird. And I noticed the same phenomenon a couple months ago, the last time I got on an H1 kick, and I got the crap kicked out of me for it. But this time I'm not going to back down. That was a CME, or either that or something just hit Jupiter. Unless one of the geeks out there can tell me different. Okay? Now, let's go to the imagery for today, and then I have some special announcements to go to. But again, we're all seeing this sundog. Again, we think it's representing something back there, or it's a part of this huge halo that we're seeing around the sun now pretty clearly, which I'll show you a couple shots today. Here's where somebody thinks they actually captured it. I can't be sure of that because it does have the look of a sundog. But I'll just let the audience judge on that one, okay? And we're seeing now objects above the sun during the day, and we do expect to see, and I'll show you this in a minute, what we do expect to see is the moon and a couple of things, in the east. So I'll show you that so you know if you're seeing that. This is kind of a flare, but that's weird, right? I mean, like an orb on the horizon like that. Could be kind of a flare thing going on there. I don't know. Hey, Roy's back. He's starting to send me stuff again. And basically, let's go through a couple of them. So this is now Skycam in Russia. He's capturing the object. He's doing a close-up of it, and then he does an inverted view of it. So that's pretty cool. March 21st, seeing it in Russia. Then he goes back to the same one and tries to see if he could corroborate that with some of the older Nibiru, supposedly Nibiru imagery, and tries to see if he can see some corroboration in the shape. And then he goes to the all sky cam in the Hawaii location, and then basically shows again, potentially the refraction on the lens, which is this, and then that actually being the object itself. Yeah, Gil Brazard needs to look at these photographs. Seriously bad. Anyway, this is from from in Texas. I think that's where that observatory is. Now check this one out. This is from my friend Shill Killer, who is the most awesome person I know in the whole world. No, he's great. But anyway, so basically he's showing me this one from Europe, and we're seeing this, which potentially could be the moon, but I don't know what this is here. And this is just more of the sundog. Now, as I noticed the sun flare all the time. Okay, so it's like usually a red, bright dot with a red thing around it. This doesn't look as much like a flare. And the other thing that gives me pause is that little dotted orb in the middle. I'm starting to think that we might be seeing the blue Chicachina there. Not sure yet. But this photo here was a little bit of a stunner. And there it just kind of shoots off as a lens flare, but it's blue and red. It's got a lot of definition in it. So again, I don't know if we're getting a refraction or reflection of that thing or what. This is somebody who sent me what is that up in the sky? And I sent him back a note saying it's the moon. So you just got to go look on Stellarium. All right, here's my challenge for you astronomer types out there. What I did was I tried to get an approximate location of this thing based on my view from Leon, Mexico. And so I hit it on Stellarium, and then I pinpointed a star in its vicinity. There's where I'd like you to point your telescopes. Second thing I want you to notice is Venus is up there and Mercury is pretty close to the sun. So a lot of the things you see could be those two objects. But again, this is where I think the object is in space relative to the sun, close to the or in the same region during this time of day in Leon. Ooh, that was a good one. That I did check this one. It is not the moon. Now check this out from the 17th actually, but it's neat because here's somebody putting their thumb over the sun, and we're starting to see that maybe perhaps some objects back in there. Again, strange. This is cool because it shows that these reflections are in the clouds and not lens flares. So take a look at this, but it's just an analysis of some of the stuff that's going on in Brazil. And I want to show, I mean, this is just incredible stuff, guys. I don't know how anybody can say that we're not seeing phenomenon. Here's the halo from East Central Iowa today. So if you didn't see the halo, it's still up there. Somebody saw it today. This one freaked me, though. This one was from, I think, Alberta or Edmonton. It's way up in Canada somewhere. Look at that, man. That halo is trippy for a couple of reasons. First of all, because it looks like a big eyeball. And then here we're just seeing red cloud reflections in a building in New York, and then they took a picture of them, actually. Here's a March 20 ISS blue object. More red, weird objects. And I just wanted to show everybody right now, if you look to the east, you're going to see this. This is what's there right now, the moon, Jupiter, and a couple of bright stars. Here's the halo from Miami. Looks like it's getting larger. Here's the halo from Neillsville. And then here's a Pontiac, Texas one that from today, where we're getting a pretty good view of what they're thinking object 1 and object 2. And then the reflection itself showing to be the same color as those two dots. So we do think this is a refraction, by the way, everybody. Still, that's what we're thinking. And then here's a still of that thing we just saw in New Jersey, guys. Not your typical everyday lens flare, I don't think. And then just a little quick mention. I know this is, I think, a Gil Broussard slide, but after I get to this with them. But basically, they were actually planning on doing things to obfuscate objects in space. And it just brings me back to that Russian thing that we've seen, a couple of times where they're maybe putting up big triangles or pyramids up in space. Just something to check out. And then this is the observation that I and a colleague, one of the subscribers, have noticed, is this is the way we see the object relative to the sun in the east, in the day, and then in the west. So that's our guessing of where we think the approximate location of it is relative to a daily cycle. So if any of the astronomers want to take a look during the day with their, IR filtered telescopes, we'd be really happy to see that. And again, back to these images again, just incredible stuff, right? All right, everybody. Well, that was my update for today, but here's the big announcement. Marshall Masters, the famous Marshall Masters, is agreed to be on the WSO show. We're going to be taping it on Wednesday this week, and hope to have it up the same day. So 3/23, look for that Marshall